Glad you're watching us on this Thursday, 6:45. Happening today, hundreds of Kansas business leaders will gather in downtown to take a look at the Kansas economy.
It comes as Wichita State releases its 2024 outlook for the state. 12 News reporter Max Dutton joining us from Century 2, giving us a look at the new data they'll be discussing today. Good morning, Max.
Hey, good morning, Britton. This booklet has pages of data with over 50 experts across the state. Now, there's a lot to analyze, but the big takeaways here are the Kansas economy and the Wichita economy are expanding faster than their natural rate of growth. Now, looking at more data from this year's survey, 91% of businesses across the state say they raised wages for their workers, and 65% say they will continue to raise wages in 2024. In terms of gross domestic product, the fastest growing industry in Kansas was professional and business services, while construction had the largest decline in GDP, falling nearly 13%. The report also shows Kansans are taking home more money, with the average state income up more than $1,000 from 2022 to roughly $59,000 in 2023. However, Hill notes it comes at a time when households are feeling the effects of inflation.
Households in Kansas had lower inflation over the last 25 years. And then since COVID, we actually have had higher inflation. So the question is, how are households doing? So we've ran out of all of the government payments like early in the spring. We're getting to a point where households are struggling.
Well, the report also shows some insight into the state population. It shows Southwest and Northwest Kansas have the fastest decline in population, while Kansas City Metro remains to have the steadiest incline in population. Guys.